They are currently undertaking a benchmarking visit with the Parliament of Uganda. Please join me once again in welcoming them. That greeting is Sam George, Honorable Sam George, from some of our members here. And our friend, the Right Honorable Bagbin, the Speaker, who is a very good friend to the Parliament of Uganda. So, honorable colleagues, yesterday I announced that tomorrow I'll be meeting the MPs from the fishing community together with the members of parliament, but I received messages that instead mobilization started, calling all fishermen and women. I received the message also to come with my ID at Parliament, to meet with the Speaker, people of the fishing community. Please, I don't want to hold a rally here. So the meeting will be strictly for members of Parliament, ministers, and I request the Attorney General tomorrow, that's where you join us. My team is going to get in touch with you. Minister for Defense, and Minister for Agriculture, Minister of State for Fisheries, then Minister for Internal Affairs, and the head of the commander for Fishing Brigade. Let it remain. So for those citizens who are looking for their national IDs to come here tomorrow, kindly, we don't have that space. Your representatives will speak for you. I just wanted that to be very clear. Number two, Honorable Attorney General, I have received many calls from young lawyers who completed law school, and their issue is about admission to LDC. They are saying now from interns, it's coming to lawyers. They are crying out, and they've said, please plead for us, Right Honorable Deputy Speaker, on this issue. We need government intervention urgently, so that we can be allowed to go complete our legal practice certificate, and we go to the field and we do our work. I don't know if you have any comment on that for now, Attorney General. Before I can give any further guidance, I would need you to comment.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, it is true we had a challenge at LDC. As you all know, LDC was set up a couple of years ago, and the education sector probably grew a little faster than the LDC. Last year, we had a carryover of about 800 students who were carried over to this academic year. But because of the increase in release of numbers from the universities, we had 2,600 applicants to join LDC. LDC's capacity currently was at about 1,300. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, LDC admitted a first intake of about 1,260 students for LDC in September this year. But I am happy to report, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, that government has worked with Ministry of Finance and other stakeholders, and we are undertaking a second intake on January 6th of 2025 to accommodate the 1,463 students who had not been taken. I know that we issued the instruction for that to happen, and I think the admission letters should have been issued. If you allow me, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, I can come with a formal statement and lay the necessary documents on table tomorrow.
Attorney General, if you can lay on table tomorrow the confirmation, that will be good. Honorable colleagues, raise. No, I don't have time today. Please, please. Honorable colleagues, no one had raised this issue. Okay? No one had raised it. You have all been here. I'm the one who has raised it. Now you want to hijack my issue and... You know? Yeah. So, no. Please. Matters of national importance, Honorable Gilbert Olanya.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I raise on the matter of national importance concerning the work going on at the Karuma Bridge. Right Honourable Speaker, work started 2 days ago on Monday. The Karuma Bridge was blocked for all kind of movement, pedestrians, cyclists, motor vehicles, and all those. Right Honourable Speaker, the minister directed that the road should be diverted. Those who are traveling from northern Uganda, Lango, Acholi, and West Nile should follow the road that passes through the park, Maison Falls, Bulisa, Oima, Chiboga to Kampala. And another route that moved direct from Pakwach to Masindi, that road was blocked by the minister, and the directive was given that if you want to follow that route, you must pay. Right Honourable Speaker, when I was there yesterday in the morning, buses are paying 210,000, and all the passengers are supposed to pay 25,000 shillings each. Taxis are paying 40,000 shillings. All the passengers are paying 25,000 shillings each. And all vehicles, like my car that I was traveling in, I paid 40,000 shillings plus 25,000 shillings for my personal movement. Right Honourable Speaker, now the bus owners, the business community in northern Uganda are not happy, and the community of northern Uganda are not happy at all, Right Honourable Speaker. You have to put high amount of money, and when you reach the gate, you have to pay 25,000 shillings on top of the money you are paying. Right now, the transport from Kitgum, Gulu to Kampala is now going to 125,000 shillings. It used to be 30,000 and 40,000.
Prayers, Honourable.
Right Honourable Speaker, our prayer is that the minister in charge of tourism should allow vehicle passed from Mason Falls to Masindi free of charge without payment. Right Honourable Speaker, the minister gave the deadline from now until when the work in Karuma is done. Second prayers is that, Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister of Works should allow the Sino Bridge at Karuma to be open for the small cars. Right now, the community who are at Karuma, the only hospital that they have is across the bridge. And many of them are farming across the bridge. Now the road is blocked. Those ones who are staying in Karuma, they have to come via Masindi, they have to go via Apache, which is very active, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable.
I pray that the minister should take concern very seriously.
Thank you.
Let me take information, Right Honourable Speaker.
Please, I am telling you you've concluded and you're taking information. Honourable colleagues, this issue has been brought to my office by around 7 MPs. It's the same issue. Okay? It's the same issue. So, in the interest of time, Honourable Gilbert Oranya has represented all of you on this issue. Please. But I have decided, when you say, I know, but I don't have that time today. Honourable Minister for Tourism. Tomorrow I can have more, but today.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. And I want to thank the Honourable Gilbert Olanya for raising this matter. And I want to thank government for working on the Karuma Bridge and resolving that challenge once and for all. It's indeed true that there were concerns raised by colleague members of Parliament, but very many members of the public over the decision we had taken to maintain the Bugungu Junction, Kampala, Masindi Road for the tourists, and only open the Hoima, Para, Bugungu Junction Road for every other road user. But yesterday, Right Honourable Speaker, we had an interaction with the Minister of Works, and we agreed that we will allow buses go through the Masindi Para Bugungu Junction Road, which is 287 kilometers, but allow all the others access the park through the Hoima Para Bugungu Junction. Just a minute, colleagues, which is just a minute, which is 315 kilometers. It is a difference of 28 kilometers. And Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, this is where the challenge is. Because the moment we open the entire park to all kinds of vehicles, we will not have a mechanism of differentiating a tourist vehicle from a public vehicle. Yes, unless you're saying that we open the park to everyone and we do not collect revenues until the bridge is repaired. That is the...
Honourable Minister, this is for how long? This is for how long?
Right Honourable Speaker, I don't know how much time works needs to resolve the matter. But the challenge that we have, Right Honourable Speaker, we can strike a compromise, and this is a discussion I was having with colleagues. And I request members just for a minute. I request for your indulgence for a minute. Because we know all the vehicles that do public transport, we can agree and allow the matatus or the taxis that are well labeled for public transport and the buses. But the moment we open the second route, because we've left the other route that is only extensive by one lane.
Honourable Minister.
Yes.
Honourable Minister, there are issues and directives which you know you give out, and the public is going to react in a certain manner. I have always guided ministers that for such a matter, call MPs from affected areas and meet them, other than saying you're coming to solve it on this floor. I can tell you, even if I give you 2 hours, that compromise you're asking for, you can't have it here, because you never raised revenue during COVID. Okay? Now, the MPs have been coming to me and saying, when you look at the amount of money you're going to collect from the national park versus the business you are going to kill during that time for the region, they don't add up. Okay? Why don't you call these MPs and you meet them?
Right Honourable Speaker, yeah. I take your guidance and I'll call the MPs. But I want to leave this on record, Right Honourable Speaker, that the second route that goes to the park, that is Kampala Hoima Bugungu Tangi Gate, is only an addition of 28 kilometers, and it's fully tarmacked. Yes, and it also goes through the park. So it's an inconvenience of an additional 20 kilometers. And I can bring figures of how much we will lose in terms of tourism revenue.
Honourable Edakas, then Honourable Judith Sadia.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much. Honourable Minister, I want to thank you for your response. Mr. Speaker, I would like to implore you. I have been on these roads, and very recently. And I have traveled both on the road from Tangi all the way to the Masindi, the gate that is manned by UWA. I have also used the road that goes through Bulisa and come all the way to Chiboga. I have used the same road from Hoima and Hoima and turn back to Masindi and join our main road here. The issue for me is, while we talk about the piece that needs to be crossed, it's a very short piece. The point from the Bulisa border to joining Para and joining to Tangi is a very short distance. The advantage is this: when you move on that road, you are supposed to move at 40 kilometers. And Speaker, I appreciate it because I drove there myself. At 40 kilometers, you are even faster for some animals. I witnessed 2 trucks almost kill a pregnant lion. Yes, I was there myself. Yes, a mother.
How did you know it was pregnant? Was it
lioness.
satisfied or pregnant?
Wait. So while we talk about, yes, it's a mother lioness, and we were there with the ranger. Yeah. And we had been following that lioness, and the trucks came face to face. So first point I want to note for us to this house to note is that even the speed of 40 kilometers is faster for moving on that park.
But what solution are you providing, Honorable? Because
I would like the minister to take his stand that the junction so far provided is sufficient because it reduces the time within which we cross the park.
Thank you.
And the investment on those animals would be preserved in the next 3 months.
Honorable Adiek, Honorable Judith Adiek.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and members, the closure of Karuma Bridge is a very serious issue. From the time when it was announced that it would be closed, and definitely it was closed on Monday this week. Right Honorable Speaker, I moved through Masindi Port. Masindi Port has now 2 small ferries, and these ferries are very old ferries. And the traffic on Masindi Port, Right Honorable Speaker, when you arrive there, is alarming. The line is so long. Yes, Right Honorable. Now, I know that government did a good job by considering rehabilitating Karuma Bridge, which was in a very sorry state. And this was done to safeguard public life, the life of the road users. Right Honorable Speaker, the planning for other alternative routes have not been done well, Right Honorable. I want to announce in this August House, Right Honorable Speaker, that Ministry of Works and Transport left out some routes not considered to be used as diversional routes. Right Honorable Speaker, we have a bridge constructed on the eastern part of Karuma Falls. And that bridge has been constructed for the power dam. And Right Honorable Speaker, the bridge is strong enough even to carry the traffic that would pass there. And I wonder why Ministry of Works cannot consider the other eastern bridge for an alternative route, one of the alternative routes that can be used by the road users. Right Honorable Speaker, as I speak now, the people who have been referred to the hospitals, to Mulago, to where, cannot really save life. Let me tell you, Right Honorable, ambulances are suffering. Yes, ambulances with patients inside. You have to wait with a patient in an ambulance, crossing, taking the longer routes via the park, limiting the speed. Honorable Minister, please, let this parliament solve these issues now.
Yes. Thank you. Now, Minister for National Guidance, this is a multi-sectoral issue. No, there's enough.
Okay, thank you so much, Right Honorable, for giving me the opportunity. I know the Honorable Minister will handle.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I am standing in for the leader of government business, the House. First of all, I want to thank Honorable Gilbert Olanya He had also recorded his voice and spoken about it on social media and messages circulating. As we all know, Karuma Dam is undergoing rehabilitation because its structural integrity had become weak. And it's for the good that the bridge is being repaired. But also would want to do it to cause as minimal inconvenience as possible to Ugandans, especially those who travel that route. And all of us, even those who don't come from there, we travel to the northern part of the country. The Office of the Leader of Government Business got to convene a meeting between the Ministry for Tourism and Works and Transport, and maybe other stakeholders. And then, yes, we could invite some MPs from maybe the region, because I hear different proposals coming.
No, Minister, it's important you meet MPs from affected areas. Otherwise, we shall continue with this here. You come out together with...
no problem.
Yeah.
And what is important is to come up with a sustainable and affordable solution to this. And then I request that you give us Tuesday.
For reporting back? No, for reporting back.
Report back.
Okay.
But whatever position we come up with will be in the interest of Ugandans.
Thank you.
Because this rehabilitation is not meant to inconvenience Ugandans.
Thank you. Why I insist on the MPs, Works and Tourism already met. What they came out with, you can see the contention is raising. That's why I'm saying, when you involve these stakeholders, they bring their views, they are captured, and you come up with a solution that is owned up by all.
To arrange a meeting for tomorrow, and by close of business today, we shall communicate.
Thank you.
We shall communicate when to meet.
Honorable Jonathan Ebwaru.
Right Honourable Speaker.
Honorable Ebwaru.
The same Ministry of Works. Right Honourable Speaker, on behalf of the leaders from TESO and that region, we support any form of development aimed at improving the lives of our people. One of which is the expansion of the Soroti Flying School. We do support it very much. Right Honourable Speaker, it will come with a lot of benefits, the infrastructure and many others. However, Right Honourable Speaker, the last week of August, as a region, we were very disturbed. A team from the Civil Aviation Authority sent surveyors from ADI Solutions. They went to Soroti Flying School to survey, demarcate, and open the boundaries. This has caused a lot of tension, Right Honourable Speaker, in the Soroti Flying School and the neighboring areas. A number of areas are going to be affected, like Aminit, Madera, Kichinjaji, Kamswahili, Aloet, and the axis of Gweri. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to pray that the Ministry of Works or any other ministry, whenever you're conducting any development or any survey, you must include the leaders to be part and parcel of the exercise. Development is a consultative process. This was not done. The surveyors went to the Flying School, the community mobilized together with the leaders, and they were stopped. My prayers, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, is that the Ministry of Works comes here with a statement that who were these surveyors and what is the status of the expansion of the Soroti Flying School into an international airport. Because it's one of the issues we have been raising year in, year out as a region. Number two, Right Honourable Speaker, I want to pray that the relevant committee of Parliament that you will decide goes to the ground and then reports to this Parliament what they are going to find on the ground. Number three, Right Honourable Speaker, I pray for an upfront compensation of the people that will be affected because of this exercise.
Thank you, Honorable.
And then finally, Right Honorable Speaker, that the future demarcations or surveys must be done daytime, including the leaders from the region and the affected communities. Because these surveyors went to survey the land that day, they went at 6:30 p.m. with the support of the soldiers, without us, the leaders from that region.
Thank you, Honorable. Government, there is Attorney General, can be heard upon this issue, or Minister for National Guidance, who is standing in for rid of government business.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I think the Honourable Member is correct that whenever we are carrying out any form of development, the stakeholders need to be informed, because if they are not informed, then they do not know what you're doing, and therefore that kind of threat arises. And it's also correct that before government can take anyone's property, under Article 26, they must be compensated before taking the property. And I'm sure we shall adhere to the provisions of the Constitution. We will do that before any land is taken.
Thank you. So let the Minister link up with the MPs from the affected areas, that is Soroti, and then Minister for Works, who is in charge. Minister for Works. Thank you. Honorable Dr. Yonga, then Honorable Amosoko. And we shall conclude with Honorable Brendan Nabukenya. The rest of the issues we shall do tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I raise a matter of national importance regarding the involuntary testing of workers, casual laborers in one of the companies which is constructing the stadium in Hoima. Right Honourable Speaker, casual laborers working with some departments in Suma company are being subjected to involuntary HIV testing, that's without informed consent, and those who have been found positive have been terminated. Right Honourable Speaker, the act of discrimination driven by ignorance and stigma surrounding HIV underscores a broader systemic issue with some companies operating in Uganda. It's both illegal and unethical to dismiss an individual based on HIV status. The treatment of terminated employees on this basis of HIV status not only violated their dignity, but also contradicts Uganda labor laws and international human rights. Right Honourable Speaker, my prayers: 1, the immediate reinstatement and compensation of staffs who have been terminated based on HIV status. 2, all companies operating in Uganda must adapt and implement comprehensive HIV workplace policies. 3, all companies or employers should be required to conduct regular training and awareness programs for employees to eliminate stigma and promote understanding of HIV, and should emphasize the rights of workers living with HIV and the legal consequences of violating these rights. The last one, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, we call upon the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development to investigate some of these companies and ensure they comply with Uganda labour laws. This happened in Hoima. I couldn't mention the staffs who were terminated because I never got written consent from them. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Now, Honourable Minister for Education, this is under your ministry. The SUMA contract is under, that's for the Hoima Stadium. Okay? Now, Honourable colleagues, please, let me first help the minister, because I'm seeing many of you making for me signs. When you send me matters of national importance, on matters of national importance, we take only 5. They should be matters of urgency, very urgent matters. If you want a hospital, you want a school, you want what? That one I wait for Thursday when we handle. But if it's a hailstorm, if it's an outbreak of a disease, I give it. If people are being evicted, I give it a quick priority. So It's not that your matter has delayed for long, because I'm seeing many of you are making for me signs. Kind of understand what I consider. These are matters that are very urgent. Okay? Thank you.
I thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank my colleague for raising this very critical matter. Indeed, it is true, as we are all aware, Government of Uganda, through the Ministry of Education and Sports, is constructing the stadium at Hoima in preparation for AFCON. And it is so sad, Mr. Speaker, to hear from colleagues that there is a compulsory testing for HIV for the workers who have been recruited to support the construction work. And they have been dismissed, those who are positive. Mr. Speaker, this is really against the labor law. And if it is true, permit that my ministry follow this case really very closely, and then we take action, and probably we can give you a feedback where necessary. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Mosokot.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and honorable members. Mr. Speaker, Agago and the eastern part of Acholi are having their animals being kept in the protected communal kraal because of the policy that came from the Ministry of Defense, so that those animals should be protected from the warriors and the raiders. However, after about 2 months ago, there is an outbreak of animal disease, which is a public important disease called CBPP, contagious bovine pneumonia, and it is affecting many and very contagious to the extent that it can wipe all the kraal at once. The only way to eradicate it is to do vaccinations and some treatment, because it is a bacterial disease. So far now, many animals, we have lost them because of that, the CBP infections. Mr. Speaker, the community, ranging right up from Oram, Namokora, Omia, Pachua, and especially in Agago North County, have lost very many animals. They have all been crying that if the kraal could be dismantled, so that in one way or another they can manage the animals and manage their animals so that they cannot lose those animals. However, the ministry have not taken a step on that. Now, yesterday, the security committee sat down to discuss this same thing in Agago district. They have not come out even with a solution. My prayers are the ministry should carry out vaccinations, mass vaccinations in those belts where animals are being affected. Number two, the human resource, the animal husbandry officers, they are scarce. There are not many. It need to be boosted up so that that vaccination can be done as quickly as possible. Also, to consider compensating the owners of animals who have lost their animals within the protected communal kraal. Because if animals are supposed to be in individual kraals, this massive loss would have not registered. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable. I think it should have started with the ministry coming to investigate and confirming what is on ground. Okay? Before we talk of compensation and all that. But Minister for Agriculture?
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the colleague for raising that. We are going to send a team to find out the details on the ground, but also I wanted to bring to the attention of the colleague that extension workers are in every parish, are in every sub-county. So if they are not there, we are going to find out why they are not helping why they are not helping and following their work. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. This is an emergency, so better respond quickly to the cries of the people. Honourable Brenda Nabukenya.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise on a matter of national importance in regards to the Uganda Dance Sport Federation, which is slated to participate in games on the 28th to 29th in China. And Right Honourable Speaker, they only need 75 million to participate because these games are for pre-ranking and also pre-Olympic qualifiers. But they've not been funded, so they cannot travel as per today because the National Council of Sports has communicated verbally to them that the only monies they've received from the Ministry of Finance it has been for FUFA, and also they just concluded Olympics games, so they cannot participate. They only have 6 participants, and with me is a letter, official invitation, and also their letter written on 10th July to the Secretary General of National Council, asking for to be facilitated to travel to China, because these games will determine who will participate in Dakar, Senegal in 2026. So my prayers are, Right Honourable Speaker, that government should avail the 75 millions for the 6 participants to go and participate, and also make sure that these federations, all the other federations, are funded for effective management of the federations and also to participate in the several games because they are not well funded. I submit.
Thank you. Honourable Minister for Education, on the spot.
Thank you so much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I'm so happy that my sister has a very strong support for the sports sector. Yes, and indeed, as you can see, we've been doing quite well as a country, as a ministry, with the sports sector. Mr. Speaker, it is true, of recent, we've been having a lot of activities that involve taking the players, the sportsmen and women outside Uganda, the Olympics, Paralympics, and the others. And indeed, the National Council of Higher Education, Sports, as she has mentioned, does not have the necessary funds to send the 6 players outside for these games. What I will say is that probably the ministry currently does not have that budget. But in the event that Ministry of Finance can support, then it will be possible. But otherwise, we are constrained. The fact that, Mr. Speaker, you'll appreciate that really the ministry has tried as much as possible to ensure we cover all the sports that has been outside Uganda. So I want to agree with my sister that much as it is very important to determine our fate to the next game in Senegal, in the event we may not be able to raise resources for the players to go outside.
Honourable Minister, can you go and link up with finance and you see how?
Probably we will link up with finance and see how much we can do. Thank you.
Thank you. Rope, you had a procedure matter you had wanted to raise?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, just before I raise my procedural issue, allow me just 30 seconds to make a quick reaction to your communication. As a lawyer myself who went through law school and eventually LDC, I know there is a huge outcry from students, one at the point of entry into LDC. Leaving LDC is another hurdle altogether. And then eventually, resultantly after leaving LDC, enrollment is even more convoluted. And so students are always crying out to policymakers, to us as leaders, to assist them. I'm glad the Attorney General says he's going to bring a statement in response to these queries. I would like to implore him to capture all these different elements, not just LDC, but also at the point of enrollment. I'm sure Attorney General, we've gotten so many complaints, and so students are
Rope,
stuck.
it's not a statement. No, I only asked him to bring the letter authorizing LDC to ensure that all these students are recruited.
Maybe let me implore you, Mr. Speaker, for the Attorney General to bring a statement of sorts. It does not have to be so lengthy.
No, that's what the sector committee should be handling when they are handling these issues.
Okay. The reason I'm saying this is because the outcry is regular and so on. So I don't know. Hopefully the sector committee can deal with it urgently, but they need to hear. They need to know what's happening because they feel really stuck after studying for 5 years. Right, Honorable Speaker, you're a lawyer yourself. So after studying for 5 years, they are stuck. They cannot get enrolled to practice, and they don't know what to do. It would be good that they are assisted with this matter. Honorable Speaker, my procedural issue, many times government makes commitments to return to this House and update it on numerous issues. On 30th April of this year, Ministry of Finance brought before us here a supplementary request of 1.1 trillion shillings. Embedded therein was 578 billion shillings for Day Biopharma. It's a factory that is intending to manufacture vaccines and other medicines. Honorable Speaker, some of us opposed this supplementary request for two major reasons. Government was saying they would like to rescue this company, which is heavily indebted, by buying shares. We said, okay, so you want to buy shares into this company. What's the worth of the company? And the Minister of Finance conceded on this floor here that they had not valued the company yet. And then we asked, so if you have not valued the company, is there some kind of agreement between government and the company before you give them money? The same minister conceded and said not yet, but that they are going to work on it afterwards. And so now we said that's problematic. It's actually irregular because you cannot put the cart before the horse. It's like shooting first and aiming later. First work on the preliminaries, and then we see what gets to happen. Anyhow, even though we opposed, it passed. Honorable Speaker, in line with our cardinal duty, myself and colleagues on this end, of keeping the government in check, on Thursday I went with some colleagues that are part of the shadow cabinet to this company, and what we did discover, the company told us that they are going to start producing vaccines and medicines at the start of next month, which is just next week. We are waiting to see what happens. But two, the company told us that through their proprietor, Mr. Matthias Magola, he said that government had valued this company and also an agreement had been signed. They did not avail to us these agreements. But you see, government had told us that they will come back to us as parliament to update us. Because this is a company that has so far been given 723 billion. The 578 was in addition to 145 that was given last year. For those that have been following, they were given first 75 billion, then 70 billion, then 578 billion. That's 723 billion. It's a lot of money. Government has not come back to this house on this matter. The same proprietor told us that actually in a few months he's going to return that money to government. And he told us that that is actually a clause they included in the agreement which they have signed with government. I found that strange also, because does that mean government is buying shares for a few months? Because those were his words, and he said it is in the agreement. Either he was telling a lie, or actually it is in that agreement, which is somewhere, I don't know, within government. Honorable Speaker, would want to know how true is this kind of agreement, because those were his words. But two, government should tell this house, if Day Biopharma, which was given 723 billion, says they're going to return the money, what kind of arrangement is that? I thought it would be procedurally right for them to return to this house, because they came here begging for that money. We said no, but eventually it passed. Finally, Right Honorable Speaker, I think that government needs to be smarter and better organized. Can we have a comprehensive policy on government bailouts? Because in a short while, government is going to return here with another supplementary request to bail out another company. Can we have a comprehensive policy? When does government get to bail out private companies, under what arrangement? So that also people out there get to know and they can apply. The modus operandi currently is a company that is stuck and its proprietor knows somebody big in government, they'll reach out to them and they'll get help. I don't think we should be operating in this surreptitious, disorganized manner, Honorable Speaker. I think that government needs to come up with a comprehensive bailout policy so that everybody knows, because many companies are stuck. Their proprietors are sick, many are heavily indebted and so on and so forth. So they don't know who do they reach out to if they need to be bailed out. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable colleagues, it is true we have an agreement with Day Pharma for the bailout through buying of shares. It is also true that there is a clause in the agreement that Day Pharma is at liberty to buy back its shares, to buy back the government shares at the value at the time they are buying them back. Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, as you may know, shares are property. Government of Republic of Uganda would like to bail out someone. So if someone is ready to buy back the shares, that is what we thought was the correct thing to do. Yes, there is a clause in the agreement that while government has shares, should Day Pharma wish to buy back those shares will be valued on that date and then bought back. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, which committee handled this issue? Because did we do it through UDC, or did the shares were bought through UDC, or we did direct?
They are bought through finance as a bailout.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Attorney General, you promised that you'd get back to this house. Okay. So. No, I think the minister, whoever.
Oh, maybe the minister,
government.
because I did not.
Yes, I
yes.
mean in government.
But I am happy,
Okay.
Right Honorable Speaker, to get back to Minister of Finance and get to the relevant committee and report back.
Sure,
because
that's what I wanted to guide.
We will do that.
That's what I wanted to guide, that we go back to the committee, which is Committee of Finance. Okay. Yes, on the bailout policy. On the bailout policy, Attorney General. Because we have very many people who are crying out.
Right Honorable Speaker, I will also raise that with the Minister of Finance and make sure we work on that policy.
Okay. Thank you. Next item.
Item 3 on the order paper, statements by ministers on the commemoration of the International Day for Old Persons due on 1st October 2024.
Minister of State for the Elderly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and the colleagues. Honorable Speaker, I want to lay on table the statement to Parliament on commemoration of the International Day for Older Persons on 1st October. I lay. Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister, 10 minutes strictly, so you summarize it.
Okay. Right Honorable Speaker, the United Nations has designated the 1st October as the International Day for Older Persons, and Uganda has been celebrating it since 1998. Every 1st October, Uganda joins the rest of the world to commemorate this day. It uses it to review what has been going on. Right Honorable Speaker, on this day, we are looking at the population of the older person. The UN, as of now, has 761 million older persons. By 2047, the population will be 2.1 million older persons. Recently, we carried out the counting throughout the country. And, Right Honorable Speaker, the older persons are now 2.3 million 2.3 million people. Right Honorable Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, this is 5% of the total population of 46 million. Right Honorable Speaker, today we want, number one, to inform Ugandans that we are joining the rest of the world to commemorate the International Day for Older Persons. Two, to inform Parliament that the theme for International Day for Older Persons is promotion and protection of the rights of older persons, everyone's responsibility, because aging is not optional. Three, Right Honorable Speaker, I want to inform Parliament that the venue for the national celebrations is Liberation Square in Masaka City in the Central Region. I also want to inform you that His Excellency the President will be the guest of honor. More importantly, I'm inviting you all members of Parliament to join us in Masaka, and especially those from the Central Region. The highlights, Right Honorable Speaker. We are looking at the various abuse of older persons. And Right Honorable Speaker, we are looking at physical abuse, we are looking at sexual abuse, we are looking at domestic violence, psychological abuse, financial abuse, neglect and isolation. Right Honorable Speaker, it's important that our honorable MPs take interest in this to protect our older persons. And Right Honorable Speaker, we are also using this occasion to look at the achievement over time in the programming of older persons. Number one, the government has been putting some budget to the older persons. As we talk now, we have the special enterprise grant for older persons, where we are funding 9,932 older persons engaged in small enterprises across 181 local governments. The distribution of enterprises across the various sectors reflects programs of promoting diverse economic activities. Two, Right Honorable Speaker, the SAGE program, which is for older persons who are 8 and above. As we talk now, we are assisting 307,123 older persons aged 80 years and above. Each of these people gets 25,000 shillings per month, and we normally pay every 3 months so that it makes more sense to them and they can budget for it. Also, Right Honorable Speaker, we have developed national social protection strategy where the government puts some money for the poor vulnerables across the life cycle. The ministry has produced the State of Social Protection in Uganda. With support from development partners, the ministry has developed a maiden social protection in Uganda, and we look at it as a means for people who are actually vulnerable. Also, Right Honorable Speaker, we have mainstreamed PDM, the Parish Development Model Agenda, and out of it, so far, 1,022,902 beneficiaries. Out of them, PDM for older persons is 3% who have benefited. The ministry has also published all those elders who are benefiting from the Special Enterprise Grant for older persons. And I would appeal to members of parliament in their various constituents to take interest in this. The ministry has also revised the national policy for older persons 2024, and it is to be launched on 1st October in Masaka. My ministry also participated in the development of the National Development Plan 4 to ensure inclusion of priorities for older persons. Right Honorable Speaker, we have had several achievements, and I want to bring to your attention that there are some shortfalls hindering older persons programming to be a success. These manifest as follows. Less than 3% of older persons are benefiting from the parish development model. Many vulnerable older persons are being left out by PDM circles because they are thought to be lacking capacity to borrow and pay back. And that recovery from elderly persons and frail above 70 limited support options is not morally okay. Here, Right Honorable Speaker, we feel the older persons shouldn't be discriminated just because they are over 70 years. SAGE budget was erroneously cut, Right Honorable Speaker, by 21 billion. This will negatively affect 63,000 senior citizens above 80 who will miss their monthly basic support of 25,000 if the error is not corrected soon. Minister of Finance has promised to correct the anomaly through 3% supplementary budget. In the same way, there is pressure to lower the eligibility age. In November 2018, during the announcement of the national rollout of the Senior Citizens Grant, Parliament resolved within 3 years the eligibility age would be progressively lowered to 65 years. This, however, has not taken effect despite the demands from population to lower the eligibility age for enrollment to SAGE from 85 to 75. 4. Demand to increase the benefits in amounts. There's growing demand from older persons to increase the value of the grant from 25,000 to at least 35,000 to match the high cost of living and inflation, if the grant is to meet its aspirations to enable older persons live dignified lives. Similarly, Special Enterprise Grant for older persons also suffered an erroneous budget cut and has a funding gap of 7 billion. This grant was initiated to help government older persons vulnerable who are 60 to 79 years through group enterprises. Delayed initiation of older person-related courses for professional service delivery. Colleagues, all government universities are expected to develop courses in geriatrics and social gerontology to handle the emerging challenges associated with increasing life expectancy. My ministry commits to send reminders to Minister of Education and the Minister of Health to guide universities on how to fast-track these courses so as to address the challenges of limited workforce to deliver specialized geriatric and social gerontology. limited intergenerational dividends, with the young generations failing to appreciate the guidance and the wisdom of the older persons due to the modernity and influence of the Western culture remains a challenge. As agreed before, Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development in the process of working with the Attorney General to enrich the older persons Bill principles to restore values and respect for elders in service delivery points and other aspects. Lack of specialized homes for older persons without alternative care. Though in principle government does not promote institutional care, it has been observed that as we promote compulsory education for children and due to rapid rural-urban migration, older persons' care in rural areas has been compromised. Monitoring reports by Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development show that many homes are being established by private sector to handle older person care due to weakened family support system as a result of busy schedules of work amidst high costs of hiring home care nurses. The ministry will work with Attorney General to ensure that homes for older persons are well regulated as it is being done for children's homes. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, there are more efforts that need to be prioritized to enhance the promotion of older persons' rights. These include encouraging of appropriate latrine technology for older persons, promotion of community social gerontology centers to offer care, treatment support services to older persons near their homes, piloting of medical insurance schemes among older persons to mitigate the high cases of ill health and pain therapy, promoting decent and dignified aging, promotion of herbal medicine and the training of lower level workers and social workers in geriatrics and social gerontology for improved care on older persons, creating awareness about the dangers of abuse of older persons' rights, encouraging older persons to report cases of rights abuse and encourage peer support among older persons, promoting care and support for older persons, scaling up appropriate transport systems that are friendly to the mobility of older persons. Venue for the national celebration. Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, since the inception of celebrating this day, Uganda has been organizing the day on a regional rotational basis. Last year, the day was celebrated in Chegwegwa district in western Uganda. The venue for this year's celebration is in Masaka City, Central Region, Liberation Square, and it will be physically celebrated.
Honourable Minister, if you could read for us the conclusion, because the rest of the things you had gone through them. Aria.
Right Honourable Speaker, by coincidence I had reached the conclusion.
The elder are alert.
Conclusion, Right Honourable Speaker. I wish to acknowledge and appreciate the honourable members of Parliament for their efforts in enacting legislation and budget allocation towards older persons' empowerment. I urge members of Parliament to join us in Masaka Liberation Square for the national commemorations and continuously interact with older persons to better understand their concerns, as we are all destined to the same end. I beg to submit, and I thank all of you.
Thank you, our elder. Thank you very much. Shadow Minister for Gender. Then the host, Member of Parliament.
Thank you.
Yes. You need to know if you're welcome in Masaka or if you're not.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm standing in for Honorable Fortunate Nantongo, Shadow Minister for Gender, Labour, Social Development. Honorable Speaker, I'm going to talk about two issues, that is SEG and SEGOP. Right Honorable Speaker, 43,559 eligible older persons for the SAGE program are currently excluded due to errors on their national IDs. This limits their access to social services that are facilitated by the acquisition of a national ID. That Honorable Speaker, NIRA should consider availing provisional national identification numbers, that is NINs, to beneficiaries to enable them access social services. 2, NIRA officers should be present and staffed in every district, municipal council, down to village level to enable a wider coverage of all eligible older persons. 3, provision should be made by the line ministry to allow other forms of identification that are not exclusionary for our elders to access the funds. About social enterprise grant for elder persons, Honorable Speaker, this program requires older persons to organize in entrepreneurship groups which are mostly limited to agriculture according to the Ministry of Gender guidelines. Therefore, care should be taken to include other productive ventures for older persons. 2, government should roll out the program to all sub-counties. 3, the targeted older persons also report bureaucratic tendencies to access such funds which discourages them. Therefore, the government should make it accessible. Honorable Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bwanika.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I want to appreciate the Minister for the statement, and I want to state that Masaka City is very hospitable city. Apart from being an agricultural city, we are also a tourist city, and we want to welcome the older persons and the potential, the candidates. All of us are candidates for older age. So we want to welcome all of you. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to just state just a few things, especially on the identification challenge for the older people. Most of them in the villages, they don't have capacity to provide fingerprints because of the works that they have been involved in. We want to request the ministry, NIRA, that they should come up with a modified, an alternative on how to identify older persons. They don't have the fingerprints. Most of them suffer. They cannot access services because of lack of fingerprints. And Right Honorable Speaker, the UN definition for older persons is 60 years. In Uganda, we are still at 80. An older person cannot access these benefits until you are 80. I want to request that as we celebrate the older persons in Masaka City as a nation, we should agree to lower the age at least to 65, so that our seniors who have paid a price for this country can benefit from what they have labored for. Information, Right Honorable Speaker. Allow me to give.
Thank you, Honorable Abed Bwanika, for giving me way to give information. In reference to the age of the older persons that Uganda is supporting as a country, I would like to bring an information on this floor that my Committee of Equal Opportunities had a report and had recommended for lowering the age up to 70. It was approved by this Parliament. Yes, we were only waiting for the action taken report by the Minister of Gender to really come and clarify if it has been effected or not, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Juliet Kakande.
Right Honorable Speaker.
No, Honorable, your time is up. You donated part of it. No, Honorable Juliet Kakande, Masaka State.
Thank you very much.
You see, when you donate, we pick from your time. You don't retain yours and then you so. Yeah.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. I also appreciate the report from the Minister. And for us as people of Masaka, I think it is an opportunity for having celebrated that particular day in our city. Right Honorable Speaker, I was very much concerned when the report talked about the special homes for the old persons. Many of the people who know much about Masaka region, we were very much affected by HIV/AIDS in the early 80s. And many of the older persons now, you may find them having lost many of their children and their grandchildren. So there are so many people who do need to be assisted in such a manner. That implies that since AIDS never affected only Masaka, even other areas in the country were affected. Right Honorable Speaker, the statement also talked about the younger persons not appreciating the old persons. The report talked of coming as an influence of the Western culture. But normally when we move out in the Western countries, you find younger people at least giving space in terms of service for the older persons, which is not here in our country. I think this particular day would assist us to bring that culture that the younger people could appreciate the roles being played by the older persons. So we welcome you all, not only the older persons in Masaka. Masaka is very accommodative. We expect to be having fun with you, not only on that particular day.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Haji Mutumba, followed by Obigaros, followed by Agnes Apea.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
And Rauben.
Right Honorable Speaker.
I'm looking for elders.
I would also... Yeah, thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the Minister. I would like to thank the Minister for his statement, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, my concern is on the SAGE program. I would like to thank government for having effected that program in the country. But my concern is on the time. It is now 6 months since the elders in my district got money, this grant, the Social Action Program grant. It is now 6 months down the road without the beneficiaries getting their money. And then we are talking about, looking after the welfare of the older persons. Most of the time, the older persons are sickly. They are going to hospitals. Right Honorable Speaker, when the government launches a program and it doesn't effect it well, we the political leaders become the financiers of these programs. Every other day you will get these elders in our homes, 20, 10 of them, coming for their monies, as if we are the government. But because they are sickly, you find yourself digging deep down in your pocket to help them go to the hospitals. So I want to appeal to government. One day I asked one of the leaders in the ministry, and we were told that they want this money to accumulate so that they can give a lump sum to these elders. But these elders, most of the time they have problems, they are sick. We have buried some of them even waiting for this money, the 25,000, so that they can go and attend hospitals. So let government at least give out 2 months or 1 month so that these elders can enjoy this money before they can be called by their God. Thank you. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Honorable Bigaro.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I join the House in thanking the Minister in his statement. Right Honorable Speaker, old age is wisdom. And if you have the benefit of being guided by an old person or by an elderly person, I tell you, your reasoning will be different. Right Honorable Speaker, I want this House to take it seriously that we need to do mindset change, especially among the middle class, among the youth, the young, who tend to beat these people, rob them from the little money they are given. And in the statement of the minister, what he has just put here is moderate. They are asking for an increment of only 10,000. Right Honorable Speaker, the challenges our elderly people go through are enormous. Right Honorable Speaker, with the little money, you will find many grandchildren gathered around them. So giving them the 35,000 is not too much. We'll be, as a House, asking and accruing for more blessing. And I will want to thank Masaka. After you hosting, I know the Honorable Minister will take this to Terego and will be glad to host the elderly. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Ape Agnes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, and for considering us the elders. Special way to thank the government of Uganda and His Excellency the President for recognizing the older persons of this country. I also want specifically to appreciate the achievements that the minister highlighted there. And world over, special grants as such are key drivers of economic growth. And when our older people get disposable income, their spending also increases, and our local markets also get money. And that is what we call local economic growth. So if we think the 25,000, or even if we are asking just for 35, is not a big deal, I would like to explore my colleagues in the Ministry of Finance that even if your pen is so sharp, you cannot go and cut a budget of 25,000 for an old woman in a Molata district. Even if that cutting is really fun, you cannot go and cut that special interest group's budget. And Right Honorable, this issue of budget cuts, I would really like to request our colleagues that for the special interest groups in this country, including persons with disability, if you do not, I don't want to say curse, but if we want to really run a country that is going to be beneficial for all of us, then we need to be cognizant that these are people who live amongst us. We know their challenges, and I'm glad my minister said all of us are getting there. Remember that tomorrow you'll be them, and they will cut that 25,000 or wait for 6 months from your only source of income. I would like to end, Right Honorable, that if it was a runner's cut, Ministry of Finance should really make a statement here. We are in the second quarter of the financial year, and from that statement it looks like that money is still missing. I sit in the budget committee, and I remember together with this House we reinstated that money and provided it as additional money in that budget, but I'm told all those budgets were cut again. I thank you.
Thank you. Hadarau Desinjiro, Honorable Mshemeza. If you know your below 60, please. Honorable Rauben.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for recognizing us, the elderly. Right Honorable Speaker, I would also want to thank the Minister for his statement. Right Honorable Speaker, my issue one of my issues on the SAGE. Right Honorable Speaker, when they were issuing the identity cards we have, there were some errors on the elderly people. Others were registered very, very young age compared to their real age. I have an example in my constituency in Sinjiro West, where actually a young brother is benefiting from SAGE and the elder brother is not benefiting. And it is very expensive for these older people to go through these legal requirements, sharing affidavits, going to gazetting and this. So I would request the minister to look into this issue. Since we are going to start registration of new identity cards, make sure you assist your brothers and your sisters. Second, Right Honorable Speaker, I would also propose that if someone retires, should qualify to be an elderly. The retirement age is 60 years, which means you are already an elderly. So I would request also people who have retired at that 60 years of age to qualify to be an elderly. Then lastly, I would also want to request the new people in Masaka to respect the old age, because even the old age, our president will be there and is an elderly, so you people respect this day and actually the elderly of us and give us a credit. I end there. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Honorable Mavengina.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank my minister for presenting our paper about the National Day celebration for the older persons. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Speaker, I would like to take this opportunity in a very special way to thank all the colleague members of Parliament for the high respect they always accord to us older persons. We always enjoy working in this Parliament because of the treatment they give us. They have always treated us very, very nicely. And so we enjoy it. Today I'm very, very happy because they have supported us in the most exceptional way. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I would like to thank His Excellency the President in a very, very special way for recognizing the older persons that they should be given opportunity to serve in this august house. If it was not for His Excellency the President, some of us would not have come back to this house. So we thank our Tata very, very much. I thank all of you for the support you have already given, and also for already advocating for our money to come back to our old persons who are suffering very much on the ground. I was in the constituency 3 days ago, and I took the chance to consult the older persons of three districts of Greater Navy, and I discovered that even this SAGE money, which they give them for 3 monthly, they don't get it. They told me the money disappeared somewhere, and I've already informed the minister. I'm waiting for them to put it in writing so that our minister can handle it together with the ministry staff. Honorable colleagues, we are very, very happy and looking forward to enjoying ourselves in Masaka. Let us go and spend the night and enjoy ourselves and dance and sleep there in Masaka. And do what?
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, Minister.
Honorable Molele Matia.
Thank you very much, Right Speaker, to give me this opportunity. I thank the President. I have never spoken about this, but when the elderly were given opportunity to come to Parliament, I said God is with us. 2, They have talked about geriatrics. Medicine in Uganda here has been for a very long time. Geriatric was not clearly stipulated in the curriculum and activities in Ministry of Health. But today they are talking about that. I'm very happy. When the issue of elderly to be paid, I was already in the ministry, in the parliament here, 9th parliament. We were the people who went out to see these people. And I was very happy that they were given that 25. Because I did talk to some of them. They said the money was very useful. At least 3 told me they even helped their grandchildren, which was very good to me. But recently, they rose the age from 65 to 80. I was in Maracha. My first relative, my mother's sister, who even lifted me when I was a baby, they told that lady she's not yet 80. And I'm already getting to 78. And that the lady is not yet 78. And I've been fighting that with Maracha, trying to ask them to help this lady. I think the Ministry of Elderly should be able to take responsibility of research to find out whether these people are correctly